Here we have a wonderful clip by Jesse Lee Peterson talking about the George Floyd death and the Minneapolis demonstrations. Uh, Here he'll have a short clip by the mayor talking about uh, why hasn't he been arrested already?
In jail. If you had done it, or I had done it, we would be behind bars right now. And I cannot come up with a good answer to that question. And so I'm calling on Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman to act on the evidence before him. I'm calling on him to charge the arresting officer in this case. We cannot turn a blind eye. It is on us as leaders to see this for what it is and call it what it is. George Floyd deserves justice. His family deserves justice. The black community deserves justice. And our city deserves justice.
Jacob Frey is his name. And he is trying to appease the black people. And so this Jacob Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, is a phony. Maybe you would want to see, rather than convicting a man without proof, maybe the heads of the police department there know something that you don't know.
Okay, so the mayor is just trying to appease black people and not trying to, get justice served for the family of the victim. There is no evidence, even though there's tons of video evidence showing what the cop was doing. Video evidence from buildings around the area showing how the cops were treating George Floyd and how George Floyd was acting. He was not resisting, even though cops previously said that he was resisting, which is why the situation happened. Though resisting or not, handcuffed and on the ground, a person is of no threat, so that means you shouldn't put your knee on their neck. But according to Jesse Lee Peterson, the mayor is trying to convince the attorney general to prosecute the cop, even though there is no evidence in his reality.
Why not? How can a mayor be calling for anyone to be arrested without proof? When did this start happening? It's amazing. And all they're doing is appeasing the black people. They need to rent the blacks to cause violence in order to have chaos in the country in hopes that somehow or another it will get the president out of office.
Okay. So this entire event was engineered. Either by the Democrats, black people, both, or some shadowy group to get Trump out of office. How crazy do you have to be in order to believe that is why a person died? Or this is the reason why it's being talked about?
And whenever these people want something, and right now they want the president out, and they want to cause chaos in the country, abortion or whatever, they rent a black, and the blacks will come and do it. They won't stand for good, but they will stand for evil.
So whenever they want to cause chaos and progress their agenda, they just pick up the phone and call a black person. It's like, how how racist do you have to be in order to believe that? Black people won't stand for good, but they'll definitely stand for evil. And this is a black person saying this, but the fact that he, uh, like, wholeheartedly believes he is white, he probably doesn't feel like he is racist, or that, he is racist. Probably doesn't feel like he is racist, but he doesn't feel like he, stands for evil, because he is, a Christian conservative fighting for God. And it's just kind of crazy, like, the stuff this guy actually says, and people actually, like, believe him.
And this thing with the police in Minneapolis, that deal down in Georgia, that didn't happen to the black community. It didn't happen to the black people. It happened to that black person. And the only one that needs to be involved in this are the family members of the guy in Georgia and in Minneapolis.
It doesn't mean people can be outraged as to the situation and what happened. I mean, he acts like people are just supposed to, not talk about events that happen in the nation.
No one else is not your business. That's not your family member. Oh, it's white on black. And so they're hurting the black community. The black community doesn't get along. They don't like one another. They're afraid of one another. They lock their doors at night. They put bars around their homes in the community.
You could find that type of behavior pretty much anywhere amongst any group of people. He's wanting to generalize that all black people are afraid of each other and hate each other, so they all put bars and stuff on their windows and keep their doors locked. I've been in so many places where people had bars on their windows and barely had their doors locked and stuff. And they would have signs. Apartment buildings, that they would have signs, you needed like a key fob or something to get in. And it was, neighborhood of white people. So, like, this generalization that it's only black people that do this is, shows more racism on his part.
If the black community is so loving and sweet, why are they hiding from each other in their own community? This is insane. And you have all these dumb liberal white people and some so-called conservative encouraging it. It's amazing how times have changed. Blacks went from, and not all, but most, they went from good, decent people to outright immoral, hateful, angry people. And they're being used for whatever reason. But I want to remind you, this isn't about the 10 black on black murders in Chicago last weekend, Memorial Day weekend. This isn't about the 40 people who were hurt or wounded in the black on black crime spree in Chicago over the weekend. These blacks are not robbing, looting, setting on fire, destroying other people's businesses because of the black on black crime, out of control crime. This isn't about that at all. They're silent on that. But you see one white man and a black man going at it, then that's a reason to go riot.
Okay, no, the reason that there is anger and rioting going on is because it's not just a white on black crime, it's a cop killing a civilian. There is a total difference in what's going on. It's the system that's supposed to be there to protect everybody killing uh, black people, and cops getting away with it. Um, so many times have cops been able to just kill a black person for no reason, and no charges. Well, no charges happen, or they get charged, and they see a grand jury, and it gets dropped. And so basically, you have these murderers walk free. Um, with the four cops that were there, uh, a number of them had several misconduct complaints against them with no disciplinary action. So they were they kept kept doing something wrong. People complained, nothing happened. People complained, nothing happened, and eventually it accumulated into them killing a person, and now people are upset that cops killed a person. It's not just civilian on civilian crime, which people are still upset about. It's just when it's, usually state on civilian, there's going to be a whole lot more upset, especially when, people have been peacefully protesting about cop brutality against black people, and nothing happens. Either, black people get mocked, or the movement gets mocked or ignored, or, well, pretty much that's what happened. Mocked and ignored, because pretty much nothing happens. There is no change, and the rights are the accumulation of people who have been ignored for far too long.
We love this one black man that the cops went after, whatever happened. But we don't care about the 10 black people who were killed by other black people. All the people marching in Chicago, why didn't we see them marching in Chicago on Memorial Day weekend, going after the black on black criminals and insisting that the cops arrest them and clean up the community since they can't do it? Nothing about that at all. So how do you love one black person more than you love 10 or the 40 that was wounded?
That's a really weird question. How do you love one black person over the other cases that he has claimed to exist? Nobody has. I don't even see how that would actually equate into anything.
I'm just not getting this. And where is the logic? Why don't we have more people saying this? Why is everyone going along with it or saying nothing? This doesn't make sense. This is wrong. This is wrong. Oh, they hate white people. You just saw a glimpse of South Africa coming to America. It's on the way. There's nothing to stop it that I can see.
Wait, what is he talking about with South Africa? I don't understand what he's trying to get at. Is South Africa, what, is there a bunch of protests going on in South Africa over police brutality against black people, or what? Or is he trying to act like there's a white genocide going on in South Africa? I wonder if he is a supporter of the white genocide movement, where people claim there is a bunch of white people dying in South Africa, and it's black people killing them. I don't know.
And it was reported that the guy seemed to be, that George, what is his name? George Floyd seemed to be on drugs or something. Why didn't they care about that? Why did his family member, I don't know if they helped or not, but try to get the guy off drugs?
Wow, there's been nothing about drugs whatsoever, and he wants to bring up drugs. Wow, because that's usually the a right wing go to point for the justification of a black person. Uh, they had drugs in their system, or they had drugs on them, or they used drugs, or something about drugs in their past. So uh, they're a bad person because they used drugs, so that murder was justified. That's the basis. That's the basics of that type of argument.
Why was he forging? He was accused of committing forgery. Why did they do something about that? If they love this guy so much,
Wait a minute. That's why the police were called, because supposedly I've heard there was either a forged check or a counterfeit 20. Um, Either way, that's why the police were called, so something was being done about that, but it's still no justification for a cop murdering a person.
this is awful. It really is. And it's awful for the country. It's awful for the blacks in that they embarrass themselves like this. They look like hoodlums. They don't look like decent people. And no one is falling for this phony idea. You love this.
Hoodlums, though. I mean, when white people riot, I mean, there have been riots by white people in the past. They the same kind of language is not used towards them as you do with as it is seen with black people. And black people, they're normally rioting because there's been systematic injustice towards them for quite a long time. Like with the Ferguson riots, that again was because of a cop killing a black person, and nothing happening to the cop, and stuff like that going on for a while.
One black person that the cop is trying to arrest, and you end up quote unquote dead. But you don't love.
Wait, quote unquote dead? Usually when people do that, it means that the word that they're saying is in quotes didn't actually happen. So he's saying, is he trying to say that George Floyd did not die? Because if he actually is, it means he is truly disconnected from any type of reality whatsoever, to the point that he won't even believe video evidence or anything that's going on, but what he wants to create.
Of the 10 black people that were killed by other black people. Why? Somebody need to shake these people, wake them up to that reality. You have some rapper by the name of Ice Cube. Rapper by the name of Ice Cube tweeted, "How many cops have to kill black Americans before we strike back? How many cops have to kill black Americans before we strike back? How many black people have to kill black people before you strike back?" Whatever that means. How many black people have to kill black people? Why did Ice Cube say this about black on black crime? How many black people have to kill black people? Believe me, more black people are killing black people than white people could ever think of killing black people. How many black people have to kill black people before they strike back? Whatever he's calling for, I have no idea.
Well, statistically, you're more likely to be killed by a person of the same skin tone. Usually, you're more than likely to be friends with someone of the same skin tone. Majority of homicides of white people are done by white people. majority of homicides of black people are done by black people. So this talking point that they want to use about, black on black deaths or whatever doesn't really work, because that's not what is being talked about. What is being talked about is state violence against civilians.
How many black people have to kill white people before somebody say no? It's only when it's a white on black incident that you see these crazy people come out. This weak, pathetic, poor excuse of a person, LeBron. I just want you to see an example of the people that these so-called celebrities are supporting. They have no choice. Shoot the white folks. They have no choice. They like shoot the white folks. Amazing. They have no choice. These loving black people have no choice.
Never seen anything like this. It's
Yes, you
engulfed
have.
in flames, ladies and gentlemen. I have never seen anything like this. The building's beginning to collapse. The building is collapsing. The building just exploded. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's so hot. It's so hot. We have to back up. I've never seen anything like this. We are the closest camera to the collapse, ladies and gentlemen.
Amazing. Isn't that amazing? Those
Oh, definitely amazing. The only way, I mean, if cops start getting punished for for police brutality, we could prevent riots from happening over police brutality. It's really simple. Just start punishing cops.
blacks have no other choice. They're not rioting over the 10 people who were killed in Chicago over the weekend, or the 40 people who were wounded in Chicago over the weekend. But one black man get killed by a cop, whatever reason, then the whole community come out, rob, steal, and yell, "Kill the white people."
Oh, that's the first time I heard that clip. I don't agree with that. Just target the cops. If don't kill people, but harass the cops, make it harder for them.
They have no choice. How nice is that? Everybody just kind of go along with it and agree with the blacks and don't reach out to tell them they need to check themselves. So these blacks, where were they when over in South Central LA, blacks and Mexicans, gang members clashed, killed one another? They didn't come out about that. Can you imagine how nice it would be in this country if that many black people across the country stood